He asks best material to cap a masonry bell. Castable refractory, fire brick with steel, natural stone, question mark. So Michael, it's a great question. A lot of answers for you. I don't think there's a best. There are options, and a lot of it really depends on, Michael, on where in the stove we're talking about. So if it's a masonry bell like my bench that you can see behind me there, that bench will never really see terribly high temperatures. I would be really surprised if I was able to ever get that bench top even close to 300 degrees. I would be surprised if it got above 250, to be honest with you. I'd be concerned. And so in the case of that area, you can really get away with a lot of stuff. You could even use cast concrete, I would think, in that area. Castable refractory is a good choice. Fire brick with steel, maybe. So again, the question is, where in the stove is it going? What does the space look like? What are our goals? You know, those kinds of things. So if it's a really big span, then, you know, things change a little bit. Steel might be necessary, but at the same time, steel across a big span starts to really grow in length. And you really start to get issues with expansion as you extend the length of those steel parts. So in those cases, I'm thinking, you know, more in terms of like internal pillars or support and smaller top pieces. If the bell is above your riser in a batch or a J, then we can't use concrete, and we probably can't even use natural stone by itself. And so then what's the best material? And so in those places where we have really high heat and really rapid and large temperature differentials, those are going to stress any material. You know, going from 0 to super hot in shortest amount of time over a big piece of material is almost guaranteed to crack it. And so what I like to do there, Michael, is use ceramic fiberboard over the tops of those hot bells. A 1-inch board will provide an incredible amount of insulation that will protect your top cap from the issues we just talked about. It also provides a modicum of support. Not much. It's not like you could put something in the middle of it, but when combined with another sheet layer, you have those two sheets acting together, and they do quite a bit to support things. So in the case of like a big bell, if you put a piece of CFB over the top, you can then use like backer board and tile to make a decorative top. So the answer to your question really, Michael, is that there's a lot of materials you can use. It depends on where you use them. Castable refractory is good, but if any big sheets of castable refractory are really susceptible to cracking and breaking due to temperature differentials across their span. So I actually kind of tend to think they're more trouble than they're worth. If you're going to do a big cast sheet, in my opinion, you might as well just use CFB to protect the sheet. Then you can use easier materials to cast with, and you can make a concrete cap with some reinforcing mesh inside of it, and you can give yourself a really, really good, inexpensive, easily accessible top. Now, would castable refractory be better in that situation? Probably. But I'd still want to do the insulation under it because I wouldn't trust it to not crack across a big span. And now we might not need the castable refractory if we have CFB under it, and castable refractory is expensive and hard to find. And it has some other issues in that it's not really always cured all the way unless you really bake it like you're supposed to. So I don't think we really have the means to cure it appropriately, and so I often wonder about its strength in the long term. So there's a long answer for you, Michael, but the short answer is use insulation and protect your top cap, and then you can use just about anything: natural stone, hardy backer and tile, concrete casts, things like that. Cooler areas, you can get away with natural stone, concrete without insulation. Steel supporting spans is fine. You just want to make sure you use expansion joints, but that is an acceptable way to do it as well. So there's a host of ways you can approach it there. Um,